What's going on, guys? Singing Wolf here with another Prologue Go Way Back video. This one is going to be all about the map, how to read it, how to use your compass, how to route plan, etc. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my compass and grab my other tools here. Grab that. Alright, and we're going to step over this way. Now, since we've got the compass up here, we might as well go over how to read the compass. Now, the top of the compass, the line that I'm going to go in the dark for this, the little line that you see that kind of points to the top of the compass, that's the direction you're facing. The arrow is north, east, south, west. Those are the directions you're facing. You also, between them, have northeast, southeast, southwest, northwest. If you hear me say, north-northwest, that's kind of in this little range right here, or east-southeast, that's kind of in this range rather than being directly southeast. It's more east than southeast kind of situation. Alright, now let's go ahead and pull up our map. And let's get a little bit of light on it here. See if we can, there we go. So, we are here in the south, west of the map. Mostly south, a little west. The map is laid out, the top of the map, where you see the giant N, that's north. Bottom would be south, right side would be east, left side would be west. So we're way down here in the south and slightly west area. We need to get to the north and slightly east area. Now, I did try to make this run already, but things went wrong. Video got screwed up. I don't know what happened. It seems to be fixed now. But what we're going to do is from where we're at, we're going to kind of head northeast a little bit and drop down into that little cut right here. Get us to the river. Okay? From there, we're going to follow the river northeast. Possibly pick up that building. Now, you'll see that there are all these black dots on the building. Those are on the map. Those are all points of interest. All right? I can't say for certain, but it appears that the larger the black square, the larger the point of interest. The smaller they are, the less they are, the smaller they are. Not every point of interest is marked on the map. Not every marked point of interest is a cabin. There's a couple of hundred points of interest on the map. So we're going to follow this river up. We're going to, when we get to this bend, we're going to head due north. When we get to the river again, we're going to actually head east and pick up that point of interest. We're going to head due north out of there, back to the river, follow it up to this juncture. We're going to cross the river at that point to get up into these orange splotches, which are the grasslands. There are lots of carrots there. It's a happy place to be. We may even pick up one of the points of interest over here, but for the most part, we're going to head north back to this small branch of the river here. We're going to cross again, and from there, we are actually going to head back northwest. Now, this isn't the most direct route, but it is a route that's going to work out well for us. We're going to head northwest from there, go all the way up and around, and come in from up here where it says go before starting to drop south. I tried this area here and it was impassable, so we're going to go with an approach from the north and drop down to the tower. Okay? So our first thing is going to be heading northeast. We'll look back at our compass. There's north, there's northeast. That's the direction we're going to start out with. I'll see you guys when we get to the river. Okay guys, we are here at the river. You can tell that it's the river because it's bordered by all of these rocks. And in this point we can actually see the water, but there are places where it gets real tight. I call these the narrows, and sometimes the rocks even cover all of the water. But when you're in these kinds of rocks, you know you're at the river. So what we're going to do from here, and I like to both be a little high up, but also kind of towards the water itself. We can see the river is heading northeast. We are going to follow this river northeast right up to that turn where she cuts north. And then we're just going to stay north. Now, this is going to take us a minute to get over there, but that's what our plan is. And when we get to that turn, I'll show you guys again. See you in a minute. Okay, guys. So we had to stop and warm our bones a little bit because that thunderstorm got quite cold. We're still here at the river. But while we stopped, it turned to night. Navigation at night can be very tricky. Now, if the flashlight is on but not in your hand, so let's say pull up the map, it attaches to your head. We're still kind of in this area right about here, and we're still trying to travel in that direction. Now, following along the river is not a bad thing, but if you need to check your heading, you see what happens with the compass here. Now, I can see it just well enough that I know that's north, that's east, that's south, and that's west. And we know that that would be northeast. But we have the river to kind of guide us. Now, one thing you can do is turn off the flashlight. Of course, it's starting to become daybreak now, but the compass goes in the dark. But what I like to do is I'll get my heading and I will put the compass away, turn on the flashlight, and just run, staying without touching the mouse to look around for the most part. A lot of times I will just set my face in a direction and then I'll just strafe all around obstacles and stuff like that. But if I do happen to like stop to try and eat something or look at something, I'll stop again, pull out the compass, rinse, repeat. Readjust my heading, and then get back to it. So that gives you guys a little bit of an idea. I know we didn't have much night there, but it gives you an idea on what to do. Alright, I will see you guys shortly. Now, one thing I do want to point out real quick is sometimes if you climb up onto something while just trying to maintain a given direction, it may occasionally change your heading. Like change which direction you're facing depending on the angle that you climbed up on. It might actually shift. So always just double check things. Okay guys, we are here on the river. And we're at the point where the river kind of heads north. You can see the water down here, right? And the river is primarily heading north now, and then you can see it kind of start to curve west over there, which means we're in this area here. And what we're going to do from this point is we are simply going to move over here and just running alongside, we are going to set ourselves in a due north with maybe just the slightest bit of west. positioning, and we're going to head that way. It's easier to run along the side of the river than it is to run on the rocks themselves. Less parkour is required. So we're going to take this and, well, stop and get some food here because we are a little low. We haven't touched any of the food that I made back at the starting cabin, but we're just going to head north until we find the river again. You can see the river has now branched past us, branched away from us. Alright, so we're going to maintain that north, but that just a little tiniest bit of west, and this isn't a very big stretch. I mean, maybe like 100 meters or something. Ooh, more food. I love these things because 72 calories, and they're pretty abundant, and they will get your food up quick. Not as fast as carrots, but still pretty dang quick. I'm going to come this way just a little bit. Oh, hey, oh, look at that. Tons. And we'll turn to get ourselves back on course, and here we go. And I don't really need to stop for any more food at this point, and we can see the river right in front of us. We're already back to the river. It just kind of scoops out that way a little bit and then comes back, just like on the map. So now the river is heading back east and kind of northeast, and since we know we are kind of in this area right about here, we're going to head east with just a little bit of north on it. Just a little bit of north on it. And see if we can get to that POI. Now, obviously, we got to wait until, well, this is not the POI, by the way. These guys, you can't, oh, well, you can almost sort of get inside of them. But one thing you do want to look for around things like this, these crazy tiny POIs, is looking for apples and apple trees. I'm not seeing any here, but we're going to keep heading this way. We're actually going to move off of the river just a little bit. Just a skosh. And I think we're about 400 to 500 meters from that POI. Oh, maybe not. We might be right there. No. We are still far too close to the river for that. But we found one here, but we're still right up against the river. So we know this isn't where we want to be, but oh, there's a pair of jeans there. Let's see. Basic sweater, which is what we're already wearing. Ooh. Gloves. Yes, please. And hey, there's a good can of kibble there. We're going to take that. We're not going to eat it right now, but we're going to take it. And we are going to... The river is still... Oh, there it goes. It's starting to bend away now. And we're going to keep heading primarily due east here and see if we can find this POI. I'll see you guys when we get there. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. We weren't far off when I paused the recording. Over here, we do have ourselves 3 pieces of structure. We have the main cabin. Over here, we have ourselves a sauna. And back over there, right at the top of the compass, there is a chicken coop. So I'm going to go ahead and raid all 3 of these. Now, you notice we no longer see the river. But I'm going to raid all 3 of these, and I'll be back with you guys in just a minute. Okay, guys, so I have just finished looting all 3 of these. Okay. The chicken coop, the main house and the sauna. Now, how do we get back to where we're going? Well, we know that we headed east to get to this spot. What we got to do now is we're going to head kind of due north from here. That way we're not going directly back to the river. We're going to head due north to pick up the river again. Okay, now we could head, just so you know, we could head in any direction that isn't south, and we will eventually hit a river. Any direction on the northern end, so northwest, north, northeast, and we'll hit a river. But we want to make sure we pick up the river we're on that we've been following, just to keep things simpler. So we're going to head north. Should be right about that way. And I will see you guys when we get to the fork in the river. Alright guys, we are here at the fork in the river. Alright, so we know we're right about here. Now it is Thunder, this is the branch that we've been following. Okay, this is that main river branch right here. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to cross here and start heading north. It's raining, so we're already soaked. It's not going to matter that much. We just got to hope that we don't get stuck in a blizzard. But I'm going to just come on over here and climb back out. And then we are going to get off of the rocks. I got plenty of water in my system right now. Try to avoid the mud, and we are going to keep heading north with just a little bit of east on it. Just a little bit. There's mud all through here. That's just lovely. There we go. And we're going to take this until we hit the grasslands. And then we're going to maybe throw a little bit more east on it and see if we can pick up one of those POIs. Typically this one here. Alright, see you guys in a minute. Okay guys, here we are in grasslands. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and eat up a bunch of carrots. Get my food and water bars back up. There's another one of those docked buildings. We'll probably raid that. But you can see right out there the tower. That is our goal. That is our destination. And from here it is almost due north. Now we are getting a little cold, so we probably will go into there. But I'm going to run around in this field a little bit, do a little bit of looting. Right there you can see a barn. I do believe that is the marked POI on the map. Kind of fits location right about here. So we're going to run over here. We're going to make sure our food and everything's good. And then I'll show you the next steps after that, which will be to head north to the river branch again and cross again. Alright guys, here we are again. We are at the juncture. We've got the river we were following until we hit the fields, which are right there. And we now have this branch of the river. So we are right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to cross and we're going to head northwest. So you can see the tower there in the distance. We're actually going to go around that side right out there to swing around and come in from the back. I tried to get through a small cut that was kind of dead in front of us from here, and it did not work. Now, if we were on that side of the river, we could have crossed probably without getting wet there, but we are still wet. So that's not going to matter a whole lot. And of course, we got fog rolling in. It's crystal clear skies today, but apparently we've also got a significant amount of fog. Let's just go ahead and get ourselves over here. Crossing the river. And now, with visibility being down, we can't really see the cliffs or the tower anymore. So we know we need to head north, and we know we need to head a bit west. So that's what we're going to do. And there are a couple of scattered POIs over here. I don't believe any of these are actually marked on the map. No, the other one would be the one that is in this zone is further east than we're traveling right now. So we're going to make our way through this field and get up to the cliffs, and then we are just going to follow those cliffs all the way around to the northwest, northwest, and go from there. I'll let you guys know if I find something interesting or if we finally get up here on the map. Okay guys, I'm on my journey here, and just wanted to give you a quick heads up. So, if you look here, the cliffs are right up here, and there's another field there. That puts us right about here at the moment. We're just going to keep following the cliffs, keeping them on our right until we get up and around. Okay guys, here we are. These are the cliffs, and I'm not seeing any more cliffs to the north of us, which means we should be right about here. So, all I've done is follow the cliffs up. We're now going to start turning east and looking for that cut to get up onto the plateau. Okay guys, I stopped here in this cabin briefly to do a little bit of raiding, but also to wait out the night since it is both night and foggy. But I am going to show to you where I think we are right now. So, based on this, and kind of where I think we're at, I think we're right in this area, right about here. I know that's kind of a big zone, but that's about where we are. So we should hopefully start seeing a path to head hard east and even southeast to get us up into this onto this plateau, and we can finally make it to the tower. Okay guys, the night is over, and I just want to show you this because I think we might actually be there. So our cabin was just a little ways away, around that bend down there, but I started coming up here and I saw, okay, we can go east. It's pretty wide. I've got cliffs on both sides of me. This feels like it's going to be this cut. So we are going to keep heading in kind of a southeast direction, and I'm going to kind of give you guys the tour on this one. This section's going to be a little bit long, but we're going to try and keep it nice and tight. We're just going to run. Food's good, temp's good, water's good. We're good. But we're going to come up through this cut here, and we're going to keep aiming southeast, east, southeast, and make our way up here. And I'm really believing that we are where we need to be now, because most of the cuts would have ended by now. If it was just like a little false canyon cut kind of deal, it would have been over. We would have found the back of it already. Now we are heading south. And guess what? If we are in here, like we think we is, we're going to keep heading kind of southeast. We're going to possibly hit up that this POI right here before heading south with just a little bit of east to get to the tower. So, south, east, well, yeah, we might as well put some more east on there. It's very easy to just be like, oh, high ground and mostly good direction, let's just go there. And then before you know it, you're veering off course. Okay, it also happens when, okay, I know I need to, there's a hill, and, I gotta go downhill to get down to the river. So you start following every downhill that you find, and in some cases, you may wind up going in the wrong direction. Another instance of that can be something like if you're just traveling, like I've got a long way to travel, and so I'm just gonna kind of run this way. You tend to take the path of least resistance. So it's like, oh, okay, well, it's easier over here. Or, hey, I want to kind of look ahead, and there's a hill there. There's a cabin right there. I think that might be the one we were looking for. There's a hill there. Maybe I can get the lay of the land if I hit the high ground, be able to see a little better. So we are up here now. And if this is where I think this is, then our path to the tower is basically going to be that way. Right down there. I can't quite see it from here, and we really don't need anything out of this building. Pardon me. Sorry about that. But we are going to just head this direction. Little bit of east on that south. We're gonna hope that we can get a sight on this, and we can actually stand to add just a little extra touch to make it around this part that's between the arrow and the tower. Just a little bit of east. Just a little extra. We don't want to put too much on it though, because you can easily, a couple of degrees here can turn into a huge distance down the line. And so you want to try and avoid that as much as possible. Now we're going to keep looking around here, and as soon as I find the tower, I will bring you guys back up. Okay guys, I haven't gone far, maybe 100 or 200 meters. I'm going to climb up here to, oh well, there it is. Because it was kind of clear up here, I was going to swing up to go looking, and something, oh, there's a cabin there. Swing up to see if I could spot the tower through gaps in the trees, all of that. But we are now at a point where the tower is directly south of us. So we are going to make the mad dash right over here. And you guys will be able to see when we get to the end here. You guys will be able to see the path that I took. Now, now, you could come up here, possibly, climbing all of these rocks and everything, but what I'm actually going for is seeing if I can come up here to avoid climbing the rock faces as much as possible, because there is the bug where you might clip through rocks, and most of the time when you're climbing rocks, it's when you're close to the tower because you want to get there. You want to get to your finish line. And you can get stuck in the rocks, and at present on the open beta, there is not a method to get out of the rocks. Alright, I will see you guys at the very top when we get to the map room. Okay guys, here we are. So, we have made it officially to the map room. Now, you can see, we started off, we went a little bit northeast, like we said, east-northeast, dropped down to the river, followed the river primarily all the way up. We did our little runarounds in the grasslands, which would be the pale green areas of the map, before crossing over and heading northwest, following that cliff face all the way around. Now, from this map, it really truly looks like that may have been the only path up. And I'll try and do a side-by-side of these to show you, what the planned route was and what the actual route turned out to be.
Attention. This is a severe
And the weather guy's coming on. Okay. But we pretty much followed the path we intended. You can even see, like, early on with that dip where we said, alright, let's head east and find this POI. We did that. We headed north. We followed the river. We did everything we planned to do. This area right here is the cut that I was hoping we'd be able to make it up through, and we were unable to. Looking at these other cuts, this one seems to be the only other one that might have a path up. But generally speaking, the path up is the one that we took. I hope this helped you guys find your way, and gave you a little insight on how to do some basic navigation. And hopefully you'll stick around and see the next video, or any video that you might that might help you with an aspect of the game that you're having trouble with. Y'all take it easy, and we'll see you later.